कॉन्फ्रेंस में।
Well, it has been announced for the Ramzan. If there's anything, I'll come back.
Please restrict it to one question. Is Kavita?
मैम दिस साइड। मैम मैं कविता जोशी हूँ हरिभूमि न्यूज़पेपर से। मेरा सवाल आपसे जम्मू कश्मीर पर ही है। जो अभी पीछे डीजीएमओ के टॉक्स हुए थे भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच में, उसके बाद पाकिस्तान ने जिस तरीके से भारत के साथ विश्वासघात किया और उसके बाद गोलीबारी की, हमारी 2 जवान भी मारे गए बीएसएफ के, तो अब भी क्या भारत पाकिस्तान के साथ संवाद और बातचीत की ही बात करेगा, या आपने फ़ौज को जम्मू कश्मीर में कोई नए दिशा निर्देश दिए हैं कड़ा जवाब देने के लिए पाकिस्तान को? आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया है इसमें?
इसमें विदेश मंत्री माननीय सुषमा जी स्पष्ट उनके और सरकार के रवैया स्पष्ट कर दिए कि टेरर एंड टॉक्स कैन नॉट गो ऑन हैंड इन हैंड, दे कांट गो साइमल्टेनियसली। सो एमईए के द्वारा माननीय सुषमा जी के द्वारा बयान आ चुके हैं, उसमें मैं जोड़ना नहीं चाहती हूँ, वही है सरकार की रवैया।
Ma'am, this is Manas from PTI, Press Trust of India. Here, ma'am, to your left. Yes.
My left. My right.
Ma'am, there has been perception actually, and it is growing very fast that all our armed forces, Army, Navy, and Air Force, they are reeling under huge shortage of funds, and situation has arisen when actually India, the government of India, has been projecting the country to be a major global power, and we have been.
Hold up. Yes, sorry.
Ma'am.
Go on.
Ma'am, this perception is gaining grounds that in fact all the three forces are reeling under huge, severe crisis of funds, and then the situation has arisen when the government of India, we are trying to just project ourselves as one of the major global powers in the world. Ma'am, how do you see it? In fact, is it not affecting our modernization? And Army has already clearly said that, in fact, I mean, they are actually struggling to get emergency purchases also. Same is the case with, I think, 2 other forces. So how do you respond to the criticism also that, in fact, under this government, all the 3 forces are reeling under severe shortage of funds, and it is impacting their modernization to a great extent? Thank you, ma'am.
I'm glad you asked this question. I think periodically all of us have been trying to answer it. I will probably take an extra minute than a crisp, short answer. Please allow me that. Little louder? Do you want to? Are you okay now? You're able to hear me? I will take an extra minute, and where necessary, I would also ask the Secretary to come in. This is something which I really want to take up seriously, and if necessary, that which is not part of the e-book, that which is not part of the booklet, I'm willing to share the data. I just want to give you some figures, and I'm sorry to do this orally now, but I will give you the figures. You can always have a look at. See, in 2013-14, I'm talking about the capital outlays on defense services. In 2013-14, it was 86,740.71, which is the BE outlay. All right? And then what actually gets spent as expenditure is 79,125.05. Do you want me to repeat those 2 numbers? 2013-14, 86,740.71, which is the BE outlay for capital, which when ultimately used as expenditure in that financial year is 79,125.05. Then comes the new government. 14-15, the capital outlay on defense services, which is exactly comparable BE that I'm referring to. I'm only giving you 2, the BE and the expenditure, in the sense what actually gets spent. So the BE for 13-14 I read out, expenditure for 13-14 I read out. Now in the same order, I'm going for 14-15. 94 587.95, 94 587.95. The expenditure in that year 81,886.98. All this is capital outlay and expenditure corresponding. Move over to 15-16. 94,588.0. 94,588.0. The expenditure 79,958.31. I'm moving over to 15-16. 94,588 is the BE. 15-16. 94,588.00 for the BE, and expenditure 79,958.31. I'm moving to 16-17. BE 86,340.00. I repeat, 16-17 BE 86,340.00. Expenditure 16-17 86,370.92. Expenditure again for 16-17 86,370.92. I move over to 17-18, which is the last whole year for which I can give you the figure. Then you enter into 18-19, which is just now running. So the last whole year, 17-18, BE 86,488.01. 86,488.01. Expenditure for the last whole year for which I can give you the figure, 90,460.26. 90,460.26. Now, I've given you the figures. I'm going to just give you what I call the last 4 years ranking. I'm not comparing it with the previous years at all. BE, it's obvious, you can do it yourself. After this government has come in, BE highest was 15-16, second was 14-15, 17-18 is the third, and 16-17 is the fourth. But then, look at the expenditure. Highest expenditure, and in that I can go back another 10 years up to 2004-05. Highest expenditure, which means actually payments being made, spent, is 17-18. Second highest, again look back up to 2004-05, second highest was 16-17. Again look back up to 2004-05, third highest was 79,958, which is 15-16, and the fourth highest, which you compare till 2004-05, is 81,886.98, which is the figure I had earlier given you. So, this is capital. I'm not concluding, I'm not giving you any inference which you can do it yourself. I've given you the actual figures. I would want all our debates to go on the figures. This is my figure. Now, I'll just go over, because we have transferred a lot of powers for revenue expenditure, and many of the capital acquisition is also going through revenue, because the larger debate of 10I, ammunition shortage, and all of that had to be addressed. So we've given the vice chiefs or the forces headquarters powers to spend, and also given the money for it. Now look at the allocations on revenue head. I'm starting again from 14-15. BE expenditure. 14-15 was 1,34,412. 0.05. 1,34,412.05. Would you mind stopping that? It's a bit distractive for people who are watching it because it keeps moving. Or else keep it static. So, BE for 14-15, 1,34,412.05. What is spent? The expenditure? 1,36,807.20. I quickly go down because now we know what we're talking about. 15-16 was 1,52,139. Expenditure that year was 1,45,936.54. 16-17, 1,62,759. Expenditure was 1,65,409. And the last whole year for which I can give you the figure is BE revenue 1,72,773.89. Spent was 1,82,091.16. I'm looking back at all the figures that I have till 2004 backwards. Not anywhere has this been running in lakhs. And we are doing it for revenue, running in lakhs. And I shall give you both the figures, revenue and capital. Shortage, short of resources. You asked the question, didn't you, PTI? Yes? Exactly. So I would recommend, instead of me sitting on judgment over anybody, for you to use these figures. Draw your inference. I'm not inferring, I'm not concluding. Draw your inference, and then we'll have a debate on it. Thank you.
Madam, I'm Ranjit Kumar. Madam, senior US officials are advising India not to go ahead with Russia for acquiring S-400 anti-missile systems. Are you going ahead with the system? What is your final view? And do you think the American sanctions law, CATSA, will impact on Indo-Russian defense relations?
I'd like to make it clear here that in all our engagement with the United States, we have very clearly explained how India and Russia's defense cooperation is something which has been going on for a very long time. It's a time-tested relationship. And India has got quite a lot of defense assets from Russia. Assets, spares, servicing, we have a continuous relationship with Russia, has been recalled. We have also mentioned, therefore, that CATSA cannot be impacting on us on this particular characteristic of India's Russia defense cooperation. This has been explained.
What about S-400 system? Are you going ahead with the deal?
That has been, I think, for a very long time in negotiations. We've reached a final stage in the S-400 negotiations. That explains it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ma'am, over here. Just to go back to Kashmir, you have seen what has happened in May. Just for your information, I'm sure you have it already. The number of terrorist incidents were 12 in the first 16 days. This was before Ramzan. From Ramzan, from the 17th to the 31st, it is 23. It has doubled. You have seen the recent MAC reports. They tell you very clearly that a large number of terrorists for bat attacks are right on the launch pads. 29, I remember the last number. And a large number are waiting for infiltration inside. Now, ma'am, has this Ramzan ceasefire failed? And if it has failed, is there any chance that you will end it once and for all as soon as possible?
The MOD's role is not to do the assessment whether it has been successful or not. The ceasefire, I mean. It's our business to guard our borders. And I've already answered the question regarding how much the ceasefire is honored by us, but yet we have also been given the room to respond if there is an unprovoked attack. We shall keep our borders safe.
Ma'am, as with regard to the ceasefire, the Ramzan ceasefire, many people in the private have said that the approach that we had, wherein which we were taking on the terrorists in a big way, has backfired. This Ramzan ceasefire, is it because of a new thinking? We also have DGMO level talks that are taking place with Pakistan. We have a new policy announcement which has come about maintaining of ceasefire. Is this a new approach that the government of India is undertaking as far as Kashmir is concerned? Because a large number of recruitment has happened there and vis-a-vis Pakistan.
I think your question is very, very full of a lot of information. All that I would like to say is repeat the answer I gave for Srinjay. We respect the ceasefire which was announced by the respectful Home Minister. However, even by his narration, any unprovoked attack, the army is given the right to respond. It is our duty to keep the borders safe. We shall be alert and ensuring that no unprovoked attack goes without us responding. No unprovoked attack shall go without us responding. It's the duty of the Defense Ministry, the Army, and the forces to keep India safe. And that has been very clearly explained to us even as the announcement on the ceasefire was made. We shall very clearly be alert on the defense of India.
Ma'am, this is Mukesh Kaushik from Dainik Bhaskar, this side. You're right. Ma'am, all these 3 years, your opponents have been raising 3 allegations, serious, so far as Defense Ministry is concerned. One relates to Rafale, that there has been huge scam in this deal. Can you assure the nation through this press conference that there was not a single rupee scam in this deal? B, second allegation was that there was a shortage of war reserves and you have been careless. Can you assure the nation that Indian forces are fully prepared to take on single and two-front war? And third allegation was that this government has mishandled Defense Ministry by changing 4 times Defense Minister and impacting its functioning. What is your reaction?
The first one, you simplified it to saying, can you assure us that there has not been even 1 paisa, whatever? Absolutely assurance that there has not been any misdoing there. We have been spending a lot of time explaining as to how the decisions were taken and that it is an intergovernmental agreement and that all false comparisons between a price which is being quoted for a Rafale which was not bought and using that as a comparison to say what you paid today is far higher is just a non-starter and a very clearly motivated attack. So someone who couldn't even buy in spite of spending quite a lot of time is saying what you paid is far higher than what I paid, which is not paid at all in the first place. Any case, I've simplified because you've also simplified saying, can you assure me? I've assured you and I'm assuring you in the company of all the senior officials of the ministry, yes, there is no scandal in Rafale. We are very clear on that.
Hi,
As regards, I thought he had 3 parts in his question. Would you allow me to answer all the 3? The second is about how prepared is India? Is there an ammunition shortage? Well, when we came in, there was an ammunition shortage. There's no doubt about it. When we came in, there was no ammunition shortage. So people who are accusing us today should also say, where did the shortage come from? I read out all the figures about the money being allocated, the outlays, didn't I? So the debate about shortage now should tell me, with all the outlays and with all the kind of decision making which you want us to believe that was made before 14, why was there a shortage of ammunition then? Well, you made all the outlets. Now you are alleging that there is a shortage now. But you didn't have a shortage then. Why did you leave the country with an ammunition shortage, pray? So let's also, look in those directions. And now I'm telling you, there is no shortage. And that was the reason why powers were given to the headquarters, backed by enough funds, backed also by this thing that some of the capital purchases can also be procured through the revenue route. We facilitated it. So there is no shortage. That's the second one. And the third you asked me was, 4 defense ministers, but all of them have been attending to the ministry. Well, yes, changes did happen, but each gave it his or her best, I would think. I'm not just judging myself as yet. So it's all right. People did change, but full attention was given to the ministry.
Madam, here, Ravindra Singh Shoran from Rajya Sabha TV. Here, in the last. You have given quite convincing and satisfactory details about the allocation of budget for the defense. But what we have seen in the last various reports of the Standing Committee of Defense, they have been indicating that this is the problem, and they are saying that sufficient money has not been allocated. Has these reports which you have given to us, the figures which has been given to the media, have you not shared these details with the Defense Standing Committee? And they have also been indicating that there is a shortage of officers in the all 3 defense forces.
Other than you might want to listen to other voices of the ministry, but before that, one pet question. Since the time the Standing Committee report-based reports have been coming out, which I've been asking everywhere, and pardon me, I want to repeat that question. How many of us have actually read the entire Standing Committee's report, pray? Yes, there were lines where you had, it was like this, unfortunate, we felt let down. But then now the bulletproof jackets are coming in. We felt let down, but now ammunitions are being bought. We felt let down, but then now. So the but then nows are all lost out in this narrative. As regards you asking me, have these figures been shared? I just want the Secretary to come in.
Sir, this is mandatory to share this data. This is data of our budget, and we are obliged to share it to the Standing Committee on Defense as and when asked for.
Ma'am, Ajit Dubey from Mail Today, ma'am. Wanted to ask you about the cantonment roads, the decision which you took, and it has, like, people are welcoming it, civilians especially are welcoming this decision. Ma'am, recently you met the wives of certain army officers who had some concerns about the opening of roads due to traffic management and other issues. And the ministry said that it will review the decision after a month. So just wanted to ask you, ma'am, while reviewing the decision, will you also take into account the voices of people who have been convenienced by this decision, and the MPs and others who had asked you to take this step? Or it will be just that few voices of army officers' wives will be heard?
Again, thank you very much for asking this question. I'll take this opportunity again to not give a small, quick answer. It requires a bit elaboration. I'll seek your indulgence. The very well covered meeting of all the MPs, the elected vice presidents of the cantonments, happened on 4th May after several requisitions came from various MPs belonging to different parties. But before that, even as all these representations kept coming, I came in only in September, but even when the representations kept coming, I had held 4 meetings with the army and also the DG who's here, Defense Estate, and his entire team, army related officers who deal with land and works. So 4 meetings, and I'm not just saying this off the cuff. 2nd April, 17th April, 26th April, 1st May. And in each one of them, the concerned joint secretaries from the civil and the concerned officers such as the Quartermaster General, the general who takes care of LWE, all of them have been present. And the discussions were from all sides. Now, 4 meetings before that meeting, which was held on 4th May, where all members of parliament representing 62 cantonments in this country were invited to participate. In some states where elections or by-elections were happening, the members chose to send a letter rather than physically come and attend the meeting that day. And I don't know if I should just let you know that these MPs come from different parties, and I don't want to sort of go in any particular order, no alphabetical order or any of that kind. I'm just sort of reading the parties' names. I can't find the paper, but I can tell you from my memory. Congress, BJP, TMC, National Conference, Communist Party of India Marxist, TRS, which is from Telangana, AIADMK from Tamil Nadu, Shiv Sena, oh yes, I do have it. Yeah, Shiv Sena. These were some of the parties which came. And in that, some very senior members who have been representing cantonments for several decades were also present. Just so that you also get this additional information, during that meeting, I did not open my mouth because I made it plain that I want to hear from all of them. The elected vice presidents of 62 cantonments were also there. Why vice president? The president is normally a uniformed officer. So you had officers already representing us from the uniformed services. All right. That was the 4th May meeting. Post that, I've had 8 meetings. I'll give you the dates for your convenience. 9th May 2018, and interestingly, 9th May meeting is important for you to know. The DGE, Defense Estates, gives us a list of the number of roads which have been closed, because that was one of the several points many of the MPs raised, one of the several points which the elected vice presidents from 62 cantonments raised. There were other issues also, but roads was one of them. So the DGE gives me a list of roads which, as per his records, have been closed for that year or for several years. And the question was, if they were being shut for several years, have they had a review as to why that continuing shut road should remain shut, or is there a reason why they should remain shut? With an open mind, this was a debate. The 9th May meeting, which is after the 4th May interaction with all the vice presidents and MPs, that list of the DGE, through the Quartermaster General, went to all the local military authorities, to the local military authorities of all the cant boards to corroborate. So that it is not the DG's whims or the Raksha Mantri's whims. Do the local military authorities agree that these many roads are shut in their cantonments? Even as I say this, let's be very clear. All these road closure discussion is only for cantonments where civil and military live together. They may have within them unit lines, they may have within them a colony where the officers live, or officers' wives and children live. I'm conscious of that. So it doesn't apply to military bases. It doesn't apply to any of those military stations, none of that. It's only for cantonments. All right? The 4th May meeting held, 9th May was the other meeting with the Quartermaster General and the DGE, when the Quartermaster General sends all the lists to the local military authority in every cantonment. So again, a ground level cross verification is happening. Post that, the dates for you. 15th May, I hold a meeting. Again, in every meeting, the military and the civil are present. 15th May, I hold a meeting. 16th May, I hold a meeting. 17th May, I hold a meeting. 18th May, also I hold a meeting. Again, Saturday, 19th May. And why Saturday, 19th May? Army Chief was away in Sri Lanka, even as I was holding these meetings, with the Vice Chief attending the meetings, with the Vice Chief, Quartermaster General, and the General LWE attending the meeting. But we waited also for the Army Chief to come back on the 19th, which is a Saturday, held the meeting again with all these people, by which time the replies from the local military authorities had come back to us. The chief comes back on the 19th. With him again we have a meeting. Then there is a meeting again on 22nd, again on 23rd May, post which the decision was taken. I'm sorry, thank you for being so indulgent. I'll just give you one last summary, again data for you to know. After this exercise, we've come to know, I'm talking only of cantonments, please, 850 roads were under closure. In 62 cantonments, 850 roads were under closure. From among the 850, 119 were closed whenever they were closed, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago, whenever they were closed without following the procedure. There is a laid down procedure, that's not my whims and fancies, there is a pakka laid down procedure by the Cantonment Act, by the ODA, by whatever. 119 were closed without following any procedure. So, in a way, the complaints which were coming from the elected representatives had some reason somewhere. After all these meetings and after this much discussed decision of the Ministry of Defense for opening these cantonment roads, from among even the 119 which were closed without following any rule, only 80 have been opened. 119 from among the total 850 had remained closed for how many ever months that they, or years that they've been closed, were closed without following rules. 119. And even after this order, about which all of us discuss, even after this order, only 80 have been opened. 80 among the 119, for which the rules have not been followed. Still under closure, without having followed the rules, whenever they were shut, you shut it without following rules. But even after this much discussed decision, there are still 24 which are not opened. MOD's decision has come. There's a lot of discussion, genuinely. Lot of concern, genuinely. But even after MOD's orders, there are 24 which are still remaining closed. That is part of the 119 where the rules were not followed. And after the rules, after this new order of the MOD, I said 80 have been opened, 24 are still remaining closed, 15 are partly opened. I met the wives, yes. Did they ask, was that question also asked? Yes, I met the wives, heard their concerns. They were largely of security. I fully appreciate that. But what is being addressed through this is the traffic-related issues, where unit lines exist, where there are families of our servicemen and their wives and the families are living. We are conscious. So I want this debate to look at these also. Ultimately, cantonments are a place where both officers and civilians are living. After 1 month is completed, that question, the last bit of the question was, what are you going to do when the review happens? The review is not done by me. Again, the local military authorities and the concerned stakeholders will have to do the review. If you decide to close because you had a reason or inputs, you're welcome to close. But follow the procedure. And the procedure means that you will make an announcement, 1 in English and 2 in local newspapers, inform the Cant board, and then close. But can we be on the side of following the procedure? And procedures are not laid by me. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. This is Siddhant from Beyond. My question on China. What's the current status of relationship with China, especially post-Doklam? Is the status quo on, at the Doklam Plateau still the same? And ma'am, my second question is on Maldives. Has the relationship with Maldives taken a dip? Ma'am.
Pardon me. I heard Maldives.
Ma'am,
say the first one?
Ma'am, 2 questions. One on China, current status with the relationship with China, especially post-Doklam. Has the status quo remained the same on the Doklam Plateau? And secondly, on Maldives, has the relationship, the military relationship, taken a dip? We have seen reports of they asking us to take back the copters.
Again, on the Doklam, the MEA and the minister herself have explained the position both in the parliament and outside. I would only go with that explanation, and MOD cannot and shall not give any other input than that. That is Government of India's position. So on Doklam, MEA has given its answers, and that's what we can also say. As regards relationship with China, you saw the Prime Minister going to Wuhan, meeting with the President. You also saw the SCO engagement, both of the External Affairs Minister and myself. So things are going on track.
Ma'am, Shruti Ranjan from India Today.
Ma'am, on Maldives. Ma'am, you didn't reply on Maldives.
There's nothing for me to reply.
Ma'am, Shruti Ranjan from India Today, ma'am.
Yes, Shruti.
Why hasn't any project been announced under the strategic partnership project, ma'am? It is supposed to be the mainstay of this government. To say the foreign direct investment in defense seems to be abysmally low. Have you reviewed it, and is there a reason? Because in the parliament, the last figures we got was about 1 crore. And finally, ma'am, Kashmir. The Chief of Army Staff not far ago, said that we need to punish the Pakistani army. Just killing terrorists will not help. What happened that we changed our stand and we want to go back to a ceasefire? Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, Mr. Sen, regarding I'll reply on the strategic partnership issue. We have actually gone forward. It's not correct to say that no progress has been made. We have brought out an RFI for the aircraft, for the fighter aircraft, and a couple of other RFIs are very much on the anvil, and they should be out in a month or so. So I think that is substantial progress for such a complex kind of thing, and we are going ahead in the right earnest, and we hope to have some progress very soon. On the question of FDI, yes, RM has reviewed it. We have reviewed it with the Department of Defense Production, and things will improve as and when we get through the strategic partnership business. As and when people are actually ready to set up manufacturing facilities in the country, that's when FDI is likely to go up.
I think there's one thing which somebody did ask, and I didn't respond, but it is right. The question related to shortages, manpower shortages. Somebody did ask. I just want to let you know that we are working very closely with the service headquarters, particularly with the Army, to evolve quick solutions to make short service commission a far more attractive proposition, particularly for women, and then increase or even to expedite promotion prospects for the JCOs in particular. So for the ordinary soldier, we want to do something just so that he has opportunities to grow. Like the Army Cadet College, we want to get more women into it, and in selected branches, we want to have more women coming in. So on the question of shortage of manpower, that's my quick response. J&K, I think so they don't mind me saying this. Is there a confusion somewhere? My answer was very clear, that the Home Minister's announcement of ceasefire, even as we want to honor it, does not exclude the possibility of army hitting back whenever there is an unprovoked attack. So the ceasefire will have to be contextualized. I don't want you to turn around and think that we are doing a U-turn. We are clear. The borders will have to be safe. So the Home Minister's announcement, I respect it and we honor it. But even as the announcement was made, I repeat this, we are very clearly given the room to hit back if there is an unprovoked attack. So, no U-turn there.
Thank you very much, friends.
No, but there are a few more. I would rather
you would like to
them
take
and
some
yes,
more,
because I don't want to.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Just a few more, please.
Can you give it to Manu that side? We'll come. Please, one after the other. We'll come. Give it to Manu and then we'll come.
Ma'am, Manu Pabi from Economic Times over here, ma'am. Ma'am, you know, on the funds crunch issue, you read out some numbers, and from the standing committee also we read the reports over there. Ma'am, would you say that the army, particularly, is unjustified in asking for more money? Because in the report, at least, they've made several demands and they've read out numbers, and they've given figures which say that with current allocations, they may not be able to even, meet expectations on this year's constraints. Is there a room for more funds for them later on? And would you consider that their demands are a bit unjustified given the overall economic situation of the country and the amount of money you can allocate on defense itself?
First of all, I want to dispel this myth that the funds which are being given are lesser than ever before. Shortage. I've read out the figures. Beginning 2004 to today, particularly on the expenditure.
That was Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman addressing a press conference on the progress made in the defence sphere in the last 4 years of the Modi government. She said that terror and talks cannot go together. She said it is the duty of the government to protect our borders. And on the ceasefire, she clearly said that the ceasefire that was announced by Home Minister Rajnath Singh for Ramzan does not exclude the possibility of India hitting back, or the defence forces or the army hitting back if there is an unprovoked attack from the Pakistani side. She also gave details of the kind of capital outlay for defence services and also expenditure on that count that has been made in the last 4 years of the Modi government. She asserted that both capital outlay as well as expenditure has been among the highest in the last 10 years, if you see, during the 4 years of the Modi government. And she also gave a detailed reply on opening of cantonment roads. And besides that, of course, she said that there is simply no scandal when it comes to the Rafale deal. There has been no corruption at all there. And she also, towards the end, spoke about the fact that there is no shortage of either manpower or of ammunition in India's defense establishment. And on the India-China relationship, she said that the ties between India and China are on track after Doklam. And she said that the position of the Defence Ministry is the same as was the position of the Ministry of External Affairs and External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj, as stated in Parliament on the Strategic Partnership Project and why projects are not taking off under the theme. The answer was that progress is being made insofar as strategic partnership is concerned. On FDI in defence, the Defence Ministry stated that FDI in defence is expected to improve from what the situation is right now. So those are some of the highlights of the press conference by Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Let's get started.